Hello, everyone. This is the Creative Mind Podcast. I'm Janet Nelson, the host, and this is my friend Michelle
Hello.
Stanton. And um, I wanted to tell you about a conversation I had with um, a mom, and she has a 4-year-old daughter who is on what they're calling the sensory spectrum now from the educational community. There are so There's five different sensory pieces, right? Eye, nose, taste, hearing, feeling, as well as feeling the supernatural world. So, and then some kids need it absolutely quiet or when to focus, and other people need a classroom of noise. I mean, they need noise around them to focus. So there's this huge spectrum of sensory learners that they're trying to tap into, and how do we work with them, and where are they on that, and tons of questions. Right, but they're trying to figure it out from the educational community. But in this conversation it was so special, as mom's going to homeschool her 4-year-old this year, and then she's hoping to put her daughter into school for kindergarten through third. So for you, Michelle,
Mhm.
what was it like to be at school during those years?
When it was the kindergarten, and I'm not sure about first grade. I think first grade is when it started to get a little bit tougher. But like Head Start and kindergarten, it was a real joy for me. I really enjoyed it. And I did really good because it was mostly like with Play-Doh and blocks, and it was always things that was like where I physically was part of it, and that was learning. So, and I always learned really good, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was when I got into Head Start, or no, first grade, when it started to get a little bit more difficult.
Mhm. So when did you find out that you're kinetic?
Just last year or this year, just this year.
Wow. And what did that do for you?
It explains so much. Like it just opened my eyes to the reality. Like people ask if you are more hands-on when you learn, and I always said yes, because that's the way that I learn, is when I'm physically into a job and doing it. When I went to college, I took a lot of courses, and I didn't do as well, but we had lab, and we did like dissecting and trying to figure out the cells. I did great. Like I my other part of the notebook and stuff of reading, I got like a D, but when it was doing the labs and the dissecting and all of that, I got an A. So it was, and I couldn't figure out why. I just thought maybe it was because I was more interested, but it was just more hands on. It was more of me um, taking apart and physically working with it. And I picked it up like it was nothing.
And I heard that they told you, when you're reading, you actually walk while you read, that would help you understand the book.
Yeah, they said that ways that would help me, because when I read, it doesn't really stick in my mind. It's just words to me, and I could go through and not um have any of it in my head, completely forget what I had just read, like just a couple of seconds ago. And it was really frustrating. And they said that's the best way for me to learn, since I'm more kinetic with physically doing it. They said to take your book and walk with it and read, and then you will absorb it more. And I was really astonished by that. I thought that was a really amazing thing to do, and that would be way better for me. than trying to sit and trying to be quiet and trying to, yeah, just all the things that I was taught to do when you're sitting in school trying to read. So, yeah.
So you found out that you're intelligent.
Yeah, yeah. That really made me feel good too. I was like, just because I'm not like it takes me a little bit with books and stuff doesn't mean that I'm not intelligent. I just learn different. And hands-on jobs are way more easier for me. Like, so I'm a CNA and I'm doing CNA work, and that I just picked up at it. I mean, it was just simple for me to pick up because I'm physically working with clients to get their blood pressure, to check their pulse, and um, to see how they're doing. And I just picked it up. It was just easy for me to figure out, like working with them and figuring out what they need. So, like I learned how to better take care of them, how to shower them, how to make sure they get what they need. Just being there and taking care of their needs and stuff. I learned it like so quick.
One of the things we've been talking about is your compassion.
Oh my gosh. it I think it's because of a lot of stuff that I've gone through. I when I was younger, I wasn't very compassionate. I mean, I kind of cared, but I wasn't very well. But compassion, I just like if I see someone, I really want to help them as much as I can and do whatever I can to help them, to be more at comfort, to be more at ease, even if it's just sitting there with them, holding their hand or whatever. I am more than willing to do it. And I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being there, um, physically for them in whatever aspect it is. Cause I don't, there's times where I've had to like, uh, rub people's feet. I don't, my one client had cerebral palsy, and I would always rub her legs, massage her legs, because her legs were really tight and tense. So massaging her legs really helped. So,
Mhm. What I've observed is most compassionate people have a time in their lives where they self-protect because compassion can get overwhelming because you hurt so badly for the people around you or you've been hurt yourself. So we self-protect. We just do. And so we kind of go into our own shell. So that was normal. But you read people well and what they physically need, which makes your job make sense for
yeah.
who you are. And thank you for doing that for our older people, for the special needs. We so appreciate it.
Oh, I love doing it. I think it's like what you said is like like I could also like really tell, like I could feel um that there's something going on, that there's something that they need. I could physically kind of feel that there's something wrong. I don't always know. Sometimes the Lord will tell me and I kind of know, or I could sense it or feel it. So, and I really felt it with my one client today that she was really her health was really declining. So I really just spent some time with her and just prayed over her and did what I can. Just and I we were trying to feed her because she hasn't been eating that much, but she has a hard time holding down her food. So it just I can't explain it. It's just something like I feel. It's like when if you walk into a spooky house, you could tell. You're like, this is a bad thing. And that's kind of how I feel it is it feels like there's something that's not right. There's something that's off or yeah. So I can kind of really feel it and I just I just go by my feelings and I go by them and I sit by them and do what I can.
Um, there is confusion when it comes to feelings. Um, yeah, we have emotional feelings. They can go up and down and in and out. Not, those are emotions. But then there's the feeling of actually brings facts of there's something wrong here. This person needs something. And it's information coming to us. In the English language, we don't use another word other than feeling, but if there's an intuitive understanding of it.
Yes.
That makes sense? So we don't want to get those two confused in this process. Um, so from the Native American culture, um, what I have talked to a number of people, and they, if they go out into the woods, before the animals get quiet, they know when the fear is there.
Yeah. It all has to do with your surroundings, uh like figuring out who you are and yourself. You just have to tune into things. If you see something or feel something, tune into it and try to figure out what's going on or what it may be. We are all have um things that we are able to do, that we're able to heal people, help people, whatever it is, or to do things hunting wise or noticing things out in the wild. We all have the sensory and the ability to do it. So I think we just kind of need to be in tune with ourselves more.
Hmm. I love that. I think some people have a greater sense to do that, but I think all of us could be more. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
exactly. Well, and
So,
I never really dug into it until I started coaching. And then that's when I really started to kind of see it more. And because I was so focused on other things in my life that I wasn't able to kind of be at calm with myself to see it. So I feel like now that um, I have more self esteem, I feel that I'm stronger to speak up and to go on my feelings and go on my intuition.
that's huge.
Yes.
So we've also talked about how you're often non-sequential. You get antsy, you have to have that play with puppy, you let me move. Let
It,
me move.
yeah, it's really hard for me to sit here and to like stay into this little box area. I like my daughter, she gets mad at me when I'm driving and my hands are moving and she's Mom, stop, you're gonna hit me. And I'm very like when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to move around and stuff. But I notice now that that's what I do. That's how I am with my body, and I enjoy it a lot more. I feel like I am able to be expressive and to when I am talking with people, I I'm busy cleaning or doing something, and it helps me to kind of hear and understand them more, which sounds really crazy, but if I sit, then my mind wanders. My mind's focused on other things. But if I am talking with them and I'm doing something, then I'm able to kind of concentrate on what they're saying more. Yeah.
Yeah. But you said sometimes you go into your bedroom and you clean, and then you have to go in the living room and you get distracted and you clean over there.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
oh,
You hear me coming in and out of the door like so many times because I like to go outside. If I'm outside where it's just like so serene and so peaceful, I feel like I'm able to communicate and talk more. But then my dog, she ends up getting into stuff and doing stuff. So then I come back inside. But then I forget that, yeah, that I was supposed to stay inside with my dog. And then I go back out again. So, yeah. So
yeah.
times I'm in and out of the door while I'm talking with you. And yeah, I
Yeah,
feel because I don't want the person to think that I'm not paying attention. Because
exactly.
yeah, because I feel like maybe they can hear the background noise And I hope that people don't think that I'm like doing the dishes and not focusing on what they're saying.
Yeah, it really helps. And that helps other people work with you well when they know that. Yeah.
Yes.
But one of the things we've heard over and over again in these podcasts is I need to draw. I need to do something with my hands. If I'm going to sit there and listen to a sermon, give me
Yes.
something in my hands.
Yes. Sermons on, and then I start cleaning and stuff. And it helps me so much to really hear it. And yeah, and
Mhm.
I a lot more.
Yeah, I get that.
If I'm in a church and I have to sit, I'm gonna end up screaming and I'll have to run out. Yeah, so it's for me it's a lot better when I'm at my house and I can like color or whatever.
Well, one gal actually said, and she's in a church service, she actually colors. That's what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way she does it. So I understand. And then sometimes their brains need a break.
Mm.
When you have too much, enough, stop, give me a break, give me 5 minutes, and then I can come back. You
Yeah,
find sometimes that's true?
that I feel that a lot like after me and you talk and I have that time, then I kind of remember like some of the things you say and I pray and I ask, is that what you mean, Lord? Or and then he kind of elaborates on it more for me. Yeah. And that like that break time for me is just kind of a more time to kind of mull it over more and to kind of go over it more in my head.
Sure.
Yeah, the
I
break
love
time
it.
is so important.
I think it's true for a lot of us if we've really taken a lot of information is how do we use that? What do we do with that
Yeah,
information?
yeah. It's I actually had a psychology class and they said if you take like every 15 minutes you take a break, you'll actually pick it up more and you'll learn it a lot quicker because it you just kind of and then you come back to it, then it you're able to learn it quicker and faster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Um, Heather basically said she at work, she gives herself half an hour of work, not more, and then has to take that break because her brain has to go somewhere else for her to come back and focus. It just
Yes.
needs to go someplace else. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes, I think that's very common of most of us, but we often don't have the patience to allow ourselves those times to think.
It's just so much of the old school of where you just have to push through until you get it and you don't you're not really helping your brain out. You're trying to cram stuff and yeah, it's best to kind of work it over and give your brain the time to kind of um to relax and to kind of break away a little bit. And then when you come back, then you see it again and your brain's like, "Oh, hey, I remember this." Yeah, then it just like yeah, it'll eat it up. So it
Yeah.
breaks very important.
Yep, definitely.
They also help like physically, like when you're exhausted and emotionally. And then if you then you give yourself the kind of peace and the kind of little break, then you feel revived.
You can give more.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's particularly important in your line of work.
It definitely is. It's there's I am happy that I'm able to kind of step away and talk with a coworker and kind of break away from because emotionally it can be tough.
Exactly. Um, so I'm looking at some of the other things we've talked about. Lord. So this little girl that I was talking about, or um, her mom trying to figure out how she's supposed to help her obey a basic command or commands. How would that work for you when you were little?
Um, I feel like if I'm kind of explained why, like if I kind of understand like don't touch the hot stove because it can burn you, then it kind of makes me feel like I can kind of understand it more because it's not as much as like a command, which is, which is good. There is commands like don't commit murder, you know, but it's if I kind of have more understanding of it, then it helps me a lot more. I feel like I am able to not only do it, but to understand why we're not doing that.
What are the things that have come up for you repeatedly, whether it's in work, whatever, or anything? You ask the question why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes the boss misunderstands where you're coming from
Yes. Yeah.
and thinks you're being disrespectful. But
Yes.
from your heart,
Yeah.
why are you asking that why?
I to me like some things that they say doesn't make sense. It just I don't like so I was really frustrated because we have a client and the dad will call and pick out the clothes for the daughter to wear. And I was very angry. I didn't like this. I didn't like that if she was going to spend her day with her family, that we had to have uh, certain clothes on her. And I was very angry with that. And I wouldn't do it. I was not going to do it. But then I had talked to my boss, and she said that sometimes people with disability learning, that they have a hard time of picking out their clothes and looking sensible in a sensible manner. And she said that that's probably what her dad wants, is just for her to look professional or look like decent, a person that has nice quality clothes and stuff. And when she explained that to me, I just felt like horrible because I felt like I was being so mean and ornery. And I was like, that makes so much sense. I was always really particular about my daughter's clothes. And I was like, well, he probably just wants to make sure that she looks beautiful and he wants her to look really pretty. So, and she might not always be able to, because she picks her own clothes. And sometimes they are a little bit off the wall, they're not, they're a little different. So he just wants her to look really presentable, which isn't a bad thing. So I was really I was really taken back that I had been so hard on that. So
So he wanted her to be comfortable being with the family.
yeah, yeah. So they kind of were dressed very nice and very demure. So he wanted her to be very demure also. It was really pretty. I thought it was cool after that, and then I felt really bad about being so kind of ornery about it.
Oh, I understand. Um, but your natural way your brain functions, you want to understand so that you can work with it. But if you don't understand the why, it just feels off. It just feels like something's wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess maybe I shouldn't, like, it's always going on kind of about my feelings and how maybe it's like my comfort level or something. But I feel like maybe I need to be a little bit more understanding.
But you're learning.
Yes,
You're in
yeah,
process.
yes,
So one of the things, another of the ladies I talked to said, to remember stuff, I need to understand why.
yeah,
I really do. Otherwise, I don't remember,
yeah,
you know. Um, she could memorize something for a test and then she never remembered again, any of it.
yeah,
It didn't even trace because she didn't know why. You
yeah,
know? So our brains like the whys. They
yeah,
and it's not necessarily being disrespectful. It's just we like, okay, so why should I remember this? Why am I doing the extra work? What's going on? So I can work with it.
right, exactly. And I feel like it's helped us to understand it more. and that, if we understand the situation more, then we are more likely to go with it. And then we're just like, well, that makes complete sense. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I understand all too well. So your younger self, what would you tell her?
Oh my goodness. I don't think I could tell her anything. She would be too hard-headed. Yeah. No, I think I would just tell her, don't worry, it will be fine. Yeah. It's gonna be way better than you think.
That's a huge thing right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I watching many of the people that I work with, that would be exactly what they need
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like it's going to be fine in the moment.
Yeah. I think that we let some things control us too much. And we need to, once you just let go, then it's so much more freer. Me and my daughter's relationship, I was very afraid and I really wanted to take control. So, because then I could kind of put her where I wanted her to be and where it was comfortable for me. And I had to let that go. And it was very tough. But it's a really good relationship now. It's she's a mature woman and she wants me to treat her like that. And I love it. I think it's awesome because now she's her own individual and I need to be respectful of that. So,
That's been true all along. It's learning to let go and not try to control whether it's people or circumstances.
yes. Yeah.
It can be very scary to let go,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's worth it. I think that's our takeaway from today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I think you really touched a lot of people's lives.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And hey, you got through school. That was huge.
I didn't get all the way through. Yeah. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I like
You enjoyed our time together. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't finish school.
Oh, yeah. You mean high school or college?
College.
Okay. Yeah, but you finished high school
Yes.
and you did take some classes in college. Way to go, girl.
It was high school was tough, but I mean, I just stuck to it and just did what I can. And yeah, yeah, it's anything's possible. So,
I love that. Good place to close. Thank you again, Michelle. I really appreciate you doing this for us.
absolutely. I appreciate you.